Okay, so we're just going to drill a tapping drill for an M10 into the saddle. I just need another set of mounting holes for the lathe slotter. I reckon there must be some law against drilling into a perfectly good saddle like this. Anyway, it's got to be done. Righto, all done. I'm sure I'll be up before the machine board for crimes against lathes. Something I don't like doing. But it's the only way of securely mounting the slotting head. As you can see, I've got other holes that I've drilled and tapped in here, and that's for the headstock extender that I bolt on. And it's also good if you've got other little jigs and fixtures that you may need to bolt on. If you've got to do line boring, you've got some fastening points to work off. So I guess it's not too bad, but yeah, just don't like doing it. Alright guys, we'll see you back on the lathe and hopefully we'll be doing some slotting. Alright guys, we're going to lift the slotter up onto the cross slide and we'll see how that fits up first. Now I had a few comments regarding the weight of this thing, and it weighs about 18 to 20 kilo, which is a bit too much for me to try and lift over into place there. And the question was asked, how are you going to get it over? Well, I have a bridge crane that I designed for my workshop, and it covers the entire bay. And this is a unique design in that it's on a double arm swing. So you can see that. The idea being is that I don't have to have trucks on this that extend outwards to try and keep the bridge from crabbing. In this particular arrangement, I can move this along, and as I move it along, the other side decides to come along. So it's completely articulated. And it runs off those swing arms, and the swing arms are mounted with a ball out of a bearing set that I've mounted into place, so it also swings that way. So it's fully articulated, it's got the guide bearings up there, and I've lifted up to 200 kilo with this crane. I've just got one of these El Cheapo electric crane hoists off eBay. But I have a chain hoist underneath it. Even with a 4-block set at 2 to 1, I find it's a little bit too coarse when it's coming down, a bit too jerky, so I can do the final adjustment with the chain block. So that's how I lift all my gear up into place. So it's whether I've got my headstock extender or whether I've got my big dividing head down there or rotary table. I just use my overhead crane, and it's very quick and easy. The bridge itself is made up out of a bit of L-track. This is what I use for sliding doors on guards, just with the L-track wheels inside, and then I've reinforced that over the top, as you can see, with a bit of hollow rectangular section. So it's quite a sturdy little crane. It's served me well over the years. Saves your back. Alright, well, we'll get this rigged up, and I guess the first thing is we'll see how it's going to fit, and then we'll turn up a blank and then we'll have a go at slotting. I do have to shorten these chains up, but one of those things I haven't got around to yet. So this will be the first time I've had it mounted on the cross slide, so I just hope that everything's going to line up. It's a bit awkward to get to these ones. That's two. And I'll see if the offside are going to line up. That's a bit of a worry. Alright, there it goes. That'll be a bit embarrassing if they didn't fit. Right. Right, my primary concern at the moment is that these are, oh yeah, no, they sit up nice and flush. Right, so that's our slotter mounted, so at least I know all of my mounting holes line up. So I'm happy about that. Alright, we might take this off. I'll put the top slide back on again and we'll mill out a blank and we'll set this up again and we'll see how we go. Right, step one out of the way. Righto, so a number of years ago I made up an indexing system that I can, I've mounted to the back of my lathe, and it's just a series of discs with holes in it, and I can make these up fairly quickly with the rotary indexer on the milling machine. Just a drawbar to lock it inside the spindle, and I've got a pawl that drops into place there. So we'll get that set up and we'll show you what that looks like on the back of the lathe. Alright, we'll see how we go handheld, working inside out. So I'll just disengage the pawl. So it's just on a detent. That leaves that free to rotate. You can re-engage it until it drops in, and that's now locked into place. So that one's 24. I've got various other ones that I've made up that I can run various indexing sets on. And it's important to be able to lock this up tight. That's not going anywhere. You don't want that rotating around while you're trying to do any sort of slotting on the lathe. Alright, I'll get set up. I'm going to run this off camera to start with because I've got to do an adjustment on the gibs here to take out any vibration, so I'll be playing around with that just a little bit to get that right, and then we'll bring you back. Hopefully we've got some cuts happening. Alright, so I've got it started, so we'll just keep going and we'll see how we go. So it's a 5mm bit that I've got in there, so we'll cut it 3mm deep and we'll see how that looks. Just trying to work around everything here at the moment. It's a bit awkward, but we'll get there. that's our 3mm deep. I should have honed this tool up. It's not the sharpest thing in the world, and maybe just playing around with the speeds on the VFD. But looking at that, that's come up beautiful. What I might do is we might back that out, and we'll do a, let's say, 1mm side step, and we'll see how that looks. The great thing is I can just release the saddle, and I can just wind it in and crank that across until just about touch. So what we'll do, I'll drop that down 1mm. So I've got my graduations on my hand wheel here. So 1 full rotation equals 1mm. So each major division is 0.1, and it's broken up to 0.02 on the smaller divisions. So drop that down by 1mm, just about there. We'll just bring this back. We can run it. Just need to settle up. Like so, and then we'll just lock it in place. So we've gone 1mm one way, we'll bring it 1mm the other. Yeah. And what I have ordered is I've ordered a digital dial indicator that I'm going to mount with some rare earth magnets, little rare earth magnets onto here, with a little side arm coming up here that's going to come up to it, so that I can get my up and down, not having to worry about the backlash on the screw. I can set that very, very accurately. Righto, that's it done. Let's take it out and we'll have a look at it. Right, so I've just ground up a new tool bit. It's a 6mm wide tool bit on this one, and just started the cut there, and we'll just continue on and see how we go. So I've done a 5mm one on this side. We'll try the 6mm one and see how we cut. Alright, we might stop it there. We've cut about 4mm deep there. So that's cutting like the proverbial hot knife through butter. That is just You can actually hear it just squealing as it takes that cut through. It's doing it easy. So very, very happy, very happy. We'll take that out and we'll get a couple of shots of it. So we cut a 5mm one on this side and we open that up to 7mm. I've just cut a straight 6mm one on this side, just with the tool bit as it is. So and the chips coming out of that are beautifully curled out. So it's yeah, cutting like a dream. Very, very happy with that. All right, let's get it out and we'll have a good look at it. Alright guys, well that's the result of our Keyway cutting. We've got one that we used a 5mm cutter with, or a 5mm wide tool bit, and we opened it up to 7, and we just cut that one there with a ground 6mm. And honestly, they both just cut like a hot knife through butter. I'm very, very, very happy with that. Both got a beautiful finish on them. So we've got a good result with this bloke. Alright guys, I'll see you soon. Okay, just before we wrap it up, I just thought I'd quickly show you the protection mechanism that I've got in place here in case the tool gets jammed or butts up against the chuck. And the last thing I want to be doing is to damage the cross side saddle or the lathe itself. So I've got this shear pin arrangement in here that measures just on 3mm across. So that shear pin will shear off at any excessive load that gets applied onto that tool. So and then the crank will just operate around on its own. So that's the little protection mechanism I've got in to protect the lathe. Hi guys, Cam here, and yes, it's finished. Well, apart from the guard and the digital indicator that I want to put on for measuring the offset, so I'll do those as little updates down the track when we get time. But the overall result, it did exactly as the design intended. It cut a keyway and it cut it effortlessly and it cut it beautifully. Beautiful finishes on those keys. So very, very happy. The cut sounded really nice. I don't know if you can pick it up on the microphone on the camera, but I had that beautiful squealing, cutting noise as it was peeling that metal out. So, and it did it effortlessly. So very, very happy with the result. Bit of a saga to get there in the end. I think I ended up with over 60 videos to that build, which is probably pretty excessive, and it did slow down towards the end, obviously, with the heavy shutdown regime I had at work, and obviously my health issues and the subsequent surgery. So that put a bit of a hole in it, but we got there in the end, which is great news. I've got a few other projects coming up, so we're going to get into those as soon as we can. And there's some interesting things I want to do there, so hang in there. I also reached 1,000 subscribers, so thank you to all those guys, heartfelt thank you to all those guys who have subscribed and looking at what I do. It was something that I never expected that I'd ever get anywhere near, but very, very happy it has, and I'm a little bit chuffed. So thank you to all those old subscribers and the new subscribers, and thank you to Emma and John for putting on the Toolbits program. It really boosted that subscription rate up quite considerably, so and gave us a lot of exposure. So thanks for that. Talking about other YouTubers, I received yesterday in the mail some stickers from Max Grant over in Perth. Max Grant has the Swan Valley Machine Shop, and if you don't watch Max, get over there and have a look at what he does. He is just so practical and really thinks out of the box with what he does. So I really enjoy watching Max's channel. He's one that I've got a few little tips and clues off, and Maxie, I'm going to be stealing your rotary ball turning design. So I've got a few things in mind that I want to do with that. So I'm going to use that for my basis. So thanks for that, Max. I'll leave a link to Max's channel down in the description, so get along and have a look at Max. It's well worthwhile. He's got some really good stuff on his channel, and it's really going to grow. Alright guys, well as I said, thanks again, and thanks for hanging in there for such a long saga. We finally got there, so we'll get some other projects onto the go in the Battler workshop, and I hope you enjoy them. Alright guys, I'll see you soon.